everyone. I just wanted to make a video where I try to explain the word search problem. How do we build up the solution, and how do we approach solving this? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to declare a function word search and just say that there is this word search function. I'm going to call board 1, and I'm going to try to find the word cat in it. I'm going to call this for 3 different boards that I have here, board 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to try to find the word cat in all of them. In the first one, it's easy. It's just these first 3 characters. In the second one, it's the second row down. And in the third one, we're actually doing it backwards, right? The prompt here is that what we need to do is write a function word search that returns true if the word is present in the 2D array array. There we go. So I've got these calls here, and I need to define word search, and I need to be able to pass it a board and a word. Right? So now, how do we actually solve this problem? So let's look at the input data. Now, we know that the input can go forwards. We know it can go backwards, right? I don't see any kind of adjacent cat, but so for now, we're really just going to focus on being able to find the word, even though it doesn't start at the top right, and being also able to find the word backwards, right? So let's go through it as though I am a computer, or that I'm really just solving the problem as a human, but like a very procedural way. So the way that I would start with this first board is knowing that I have the word cat, right? What I need to do is first just check to see where I find C's. And so we can go here and we can find a C in this first position. Once I find a C, I know I'm sort of good to go to check the next things. I need to find an A. So what I would do is I would say, okay, I know that there's a C here. Now I need to find an A. And since it would be able to see that that's an A, then I know that my next letter is T. And so given that I'm starting here, I really only need to check here, here, and here, right? And so if I'm checking just these 3, I would check here first and see that it's a T, and therefore I've found cat, and I could return true. But on this one, I would check to see C, and then I would check A, and C, and these 2, A and A, I haven't really talked about diagonal, but I check A and C here, and A matches, so I'd continue on to check both B and A here. And since B and A aren't T, they don't match what I need, I would have to kind of go back, right, up to this C, and I know that essentially this A is not going to take me to a T. I checked here, it said B, and I checked here, it said A. So I need to remove this A. And so I'm back to C, and C, having checked this direction, needs to go check this direction. And so if it checks this direction, sees a C, it knows I'm not getting to where I need to go. And so we need to start moving on, right? So having said I've been to C and I know that it's not the right letter, I'll go and I'll check this letter. And since it's not a C, because I'm now looking for a C again, I keep going. I check this letter, not a C, not a C. Oh, look, I found another C. Okay, so now from this C, I can check A and R. So I check A first, and A is correct. And so now I've got CA. And from this, I can check T and A. And so I'll check T, and I see that T is correct, and that's where I want to return true. Down here, it's a much more complex board. So let's go with, we start here, it's not a C, here it's not a C, here it is a C. So then we want to check E and B, but to solve this, it's we need to note that it's backwards. And so when I find my C, I also need to check over here that it's A. So I check first E, then B, then A, right? And so once I see that there's an A, now I'm here, and I don't want to accidentally check this C again because I'm sort of starting from here. So I have to sort of have the notion of keeping track of where I'm at and where I've been. And so let's say that I have a list of where I've been so far. So I've only been to this C on this particular permutation, and so I keep track of that. So I've been here, I've been to this C, now I'm checking A. A is correct, and so now when I need to check where to go next, A and R, I need to eliminate C because I've got it written down. And so I check A. Again, that's not the right one, and neither is R, so I collapse back to C, right? And if C is checked E, B, and A doesn't lead to a T, then we can discard this C and move on. So we check E is not a C, Q, A, B, S, none of these are C, R, T, and you can see I'm just really trying to find a starting place of C. So I'm going through this whole array and trying to find a C, and whenever I do find a C, I write that down. Okay, now I've seen this C, and I need to check all the things around it, so that's S and A. So I check S, that's not correct, then I check A, and so now I'm here, CA. I've been to this C, so I know that I need to check B and T. I check B, that's not correct, and then I check T, and T is correct. So let me just sort of write down that process, right? So essentially, for each starting place, right, row and col, right? For each starting place, what we want to do is the letter the correct beginning letter? If it is, then we need to check for the next letter. So start a search at that point. In the search, what we'll do is we'll check to see let's see, we'll check all permutations. So for each possible place to check, right, what we want to do after we have every possible place to check, is it the correct next letter? If so, start a search at that point given the next letter, right? And I think you can see here what we're going to have to do is basically use recursion to do that, right? And then so essentially in this, if it's not the correct letter, so like in this one, we get a C and then we get an A, and then we run into not the correct letters. So if not, we need to do what's called a backup, right? Or a backtrack. So if not, back up to the last known good letter, right? And that's basically going to close our recursive function, and so we'll recurse back up to the C, and then if that's not good, essentially if we check all of the possible places to check and they check all of their next possible places, we want to stop and basically find another starting place, right? So that's essentially all that we really need to do as a plan. And so in our next video, what we're going to do is actually cover how to write this in Python. In this next video, we're going to write several functions. So I know this looks like a very small plan right here, and it is going to expand out into a lot more code. So be ready for that. Cool. All right. Thanks, and see you in the next video.